Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's it follows on from Wake Up the Nation in some ways, musically, I suppose. But I think it's a different record from that, and I don't think there's anything else around that sounds like it. You know, I think it's really out on its own and it's unique, and sounds like 21st century music to me. You know, the last 3 records for me, I've been able to sort of to see other possibilities in music. You know, I've kind of been able to see outside of my box and see that I can just, you know, it's possible to try anything really, almost, you know, and I think there's that air of experimenting which has just become more apparent to me really, and more, you know, I just feel the need to try and to see how far I can go with it all really. But I know, you know, and also I mean, all the time I'm also hearing different sorts of music all the time, listening to different kinds of music, you know. And that all has an influence as well. Yeah, well it's an influence on a couple of tracks on the album, not overall, but actually on a couple of tracks. More for the rhythmic thing that Noi did, really, the kind of motoric beat, which we kind of used on a couple of tracks. But I listened to a lot of electronic music as well, very early. And I bought some compilations of electronic music, which was, some of it was like from like the 1930s and 40s, and very early experiments in sound, and I guess that was a bit of an influence as well, really. You know, it has been on the last 2, this record and the last record, definitely, yeah. Well, I think it's because you know, I've always worked in a very traditional way of writing a song at home on guitar or piano. You know, and kind of writing it from start to finish, and then taking that song in to play to the band, the producer, whatever, and then that would be the sort of template for the song, and we'd improve on that. Whereas I haven't really written anything beforehand. I've just gone into the studio and really have made stuff up on the spot, you know, and just I guess a more spontaneous way of working, really, you know, which is great. Sometimes it's great, and other times it doesn't go anywhere. But it's important for me just to try and find different forms and different methods of writing, you know. We had Graham Coxon playing Hammond organ, which is something he's never played before. That was interesting. And you know, Steve Craddock plays drums on a lot of tracks, and yeah, I suppose, you know, again, trying to take people out of what they're normally known for, you know, try and get them to play something they haven't played before, maybe, you know, see what that kind of what happens, and again, you know, just to try to make it interesting for us, really, just to try to make it constantly different and interesting for us as musicians as well, you know. Well, there is a lot of guitar on the record, it's just it sounds different. I think we were using a lot of effects and stuff on it, you know, so the guitar's still there, but it just doesn't always sound like a guitar, you know, it sounds like other sounds as well. And I played a lot of guitar on the record, but it just sounds different, I think. It's just a lot of effects and going through like synths and stuff like that, you know.